on Pass. Total football.
Hey guys, we're here to talk about Chelsea today and how the season has been going. And with the recent sacking of Frank Lampard from the dugout and the emergence of Thomas Tuchel as their new manager, we've got Adil here, our resident Chelsea fan, to give us his ideas. And we'll go through a few stats through the season, and Adil will give us his expectations, and we'll hope stay tuned. We'll have a good show for you today. So, given how things have turned out this week, did you expect Lampard to get sacked this season, or like by how he was doing in the last few weeks?
To be honest, I saw it coming, but I didn't expect him to get sacked after the win in the FA Cup, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Premier League, there was a immediate dip soon after December. Like everything went wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, Lampard had his problems. But how shall we go ahead with it? Shall we start with there's formation problems, players being played out of place. There was never one set team for 2 matches straight. So there was obviously a lot of chemistry problems there as well.
Yeah, I think we saw like a lot of experimenting and stuff with the team, with the lineup, where we saw Werner being moved out of position, and that didn't really help out, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But I think he didn't even get his midfield or his defense sorted out properly, right? Like he was playing different defenders week in, week out.
Almost every game, yeah.
Yeah, so that's never a good sign. In a way, like what I noticed as a United fan when Mourinho was there was that he used to always like move his defenders up and down, and that shows that you're not really confident with your lineup there. So in a way, I understand he was trying to get the best out of his players, but I can see why it sort of created doubt in most fans and the board's mind. Yeah, so I have a few stats down for Chelsea this season, 2020-2021. So you've conceded 32, you've scored 32 goals, and XG, expected goals, has it down for you to have scored 31.3, which is very good, like, which isn't like great. You're not overperforming, you're not underperforming, you're not like scoring less than you're supposed to, which is fair enough in a way. We're just like, your attack is doing fine, but then there's always instances where like you see Timo Werner getting into chances and missing. We'll get into that again, where he's got like an XG of 6.8 to 7, and he's only scored 4 goals. So that shows that he's should have been taking his chances more often. He's only got 1 shot on target per 90 minutes this season when he started, and about 3 shots per 90 minutes. So I guess it could be the lack of having a proper creative force behind him, and another. It's hard to blame it all on Timo Werner, obviously, right? Because like he's just come in, and you don't really expect a player of his.
Not everyone's Bruno Fernandes.
Well, not everyone's Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's just that like I also think, like we mentioned, like he's been played out of position so many times, and he's not playing in the position where he played at Leipzig as well. It's a different type of team, different dynamic, different attacking style, and
there was there was this 2 games where Werner played strike and Havertz was right behind, and in both games they scored 3+ goals. So, and then the following matches afterwards, Lampard switched back to the 4-3-3, again playing Werner out of position and Havertz out of position.
Yeah.
So both players who've been playing out of position are misfiring at the moment.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, given looking at Tuchel's first game in charge, Havertz seemed a lot more confident
Mhm.
with the ball than he was with Lampard. Like with Lampard, he barely took a shot, or whenever he got the ball, he'd release it soon as he got it. So you could see that he was lacking a lot of confidence going up. And
So you think
that could
Havertz is better as a number 10
Cam,
or like
eh,
a center attacking midfield
definitely.
role as well? Yeah, because we've seen Mason Mount being playing there, and then he's been played on the left as a inverted winger as well, and it's a bit like weird all over the place.
Yeah,
So like I was looking at defensive actions per
yeah,
90 or like defensive actions this whole season, which is a good way to see how good your central midfielders are doing.
yeah,
Less your defenders because they're always like doing defensive actions, but then how your center midfielders are doing in terms of attack versus defense.
yeah.
So obviously Kante has the highest amount of tackles. He's got 56 tackles, but guess who's
Okay.
behind him? Who's leading behind him in tackles? It's not any
Mount.
defender. Yeah,
Oh,
it's Mason
Mount.
Mount. Yeah, he's
Okay.
got 44 tackles, and he presses a lot more than Kante as well. He presses 347 times. It's like pressure. It doesn't necessarily have to be pressure regains. It's just pressing. He presses more than Kante by about 20 more.
Okay.
Yeah, so
But
it's
with
that.
Kante, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to break your train of thought, but like with Kante, when he has the ball, I feel so unsure of him dribbling. He's not
Yeah,
like,
well, like in the past seasons, we've seen that Conte has been like he's been a ball progressor as well, right? Especially under Conte.
yeah,
I guess he's losing his speed, so I guess that's probably the main reason. And the fact that you
yeah,
don't have a proper ball carrier, I think Kovacic hasn't played that much anyway this season, right?
yeah. But I feel like Kovacic is being overlooked
Oh yeah,
almost.
exactly. I think Kovacic should be played in that role, almost as a ball progressor because his dribbling is pretty good from
Yeah,
what I've seen um, when he uh, when he first came into Chelsea. Yeah, so the fact that Mount has been playing there, that was when I was digging deep to see why you're not really creating as many chances for Timo Werner as well. Because like one shot on target per 90, that means that he's not really taking that many shots. He's taking like 2.6 shots per 90, which is like not the best for a striker
yeah,
who is expected to get more goals. So that could be a reason where the average position of your number 10 or your chief creator is way behind on the field. So no one's really creating that many chances for him, right? I think with
yeah.
Ziyech coming in, you probably get more chances on goal and goal
Hopefully,
attempts.
but even with Ziyech, what I noticed with Tuchel's first game as well, I barely saw after that one game that he really performed. I didn't really see Ziyech perform as much as he did before.
Yeah.
And with the Tuchel's game, he was taking shots outside the box
Yeah,
a lot more than he did with Lampard.
yeah. But then it's good in a way, but also like it's better for him to probably nail down a position. I think that's
Yeah,
probably what Tuchel has to do right now. It's a squad of young players, right? It's like
yes.
26 years on average age, which is like
Except for Azpilicueta and
yeah,
Thiago Silva,
exactly,
everyone else is young.
and probably Kante, who's getting old now. I think everyone's like below 26.
Yeah,
I think probably below 25 even.
yeah,
So that's why the average age is so low. I think yeah, so it's important to like I think nail down a few positions for Tuchel because it's gonna be hard to move them around in that sort of formation, especially in the Premier League, where like it's not that easy for players to adapt into a certain formation and then keep it going.
yeah.
It's not Manchester City basically.
And Lamps
And
didn't have
even
the experience either.
exactly, and
To
even City struggle with that sometimes, as we saw like this season, where like Pep has admitted to being like he's been playing around with the team too much, which was a fault that everyone's been pointing out for a while, like at least a few seasons now.
pretty much.
Yeah, at least you got your goalkeeping problem sorted, I guess, in a way, because
It's an upgrade.
yeah, it's definitely up. We mentioned like last season where any goalkeeper above that bracket in European football was going to be an upgrade on Kepa, right? So he's conceded
Yeah.
like 0.87 goals per 90 minutes compared to Kepa, who's conceded like 2 goals per 90. He's had a higher save percentage of like 70% than Kepa, who's got like 57%. Arguably, like Kepa has started like the 2 matches I think that you guys did concede more. So I guess it's a bit unlucky, but also like I just think the defense is much more stable with Mendy at the back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But even Kepa, I think the first game, Silva slipped up and then Kepa conceded. There's been a few issues. But even Mendy, I feel like now that we do say that Mendy is an upgrade, a lot of eyes are on Mendy. So even the moment he makes one single mistake, everyone's harping on that side. That,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, like it's been that defense, right? Where they've been moving around. Like Thiago Silva has been steady when he's come on, except probably that West Brom game. But you know, that was just, let's forget about that one. But then apart from that, he's had steady performances. But then again, you can't expect him to start all the time.
Age.
Exactly, right? So again, that's going to be another problem. I've been impressed with Zuma when I've seen him, and I think you would agree. Yeah.
Then
so
apart, Rudiger's been playing a bit more often.
yeah, but apparently Rudiger was also a small problem for Lampard.
Apparently,
at some point. So
but
yeah,
Abraham came on Twitter to defend Rudiger.
okay,
So
okay,
you never
right.
know.
Yeah. So we'll never know what actually happens
Happens.
when a coach gets fired, right? So this turns to speculation and stuff. Yeah. So what do you think of Tuchel and with his existing pedigree and stuff, managing PSG,
Tuchel,
Dortmund? Do you think
Tuchel in Dortmund was good, but the fact that when you go to PSG, it's almost on autopilot.
I agree, yeah. But I still think he managed that team well, and they've had they had like even for a PSG team that dominated La Liga, they were even better, right? Because like you can see that I don't know, I still think I saw a stat the other day where like they had won like some percentage of matches, and that's been the highest ever in that PSG had won it. So like even by managing an overperforming team and like he did something that none of the PSG teams have ever done. He took them to the CL final, right? So and they were like blowing out teams until that final, and they almost like gave Bayern a bit of a shock, right? And
but the problem I have is Tuchel got fired because he had a problem with the PSG board.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like the Chelsea board are any better either. So the only reason that they've gone for Tuchel is because we have Werner who's misfiring, I think, and Havertz as well. So 2 high-profile signings that need to be managed well.
Yeah.
And they probably felt isolated during Lampard's time.
Yeah.
But given the reasons as to why Tuchel left PSG and him joining a board that has a policy of firing managers every 18 months to 24 months is not the ideal situation that a young team of players needs.
Yeah,
to keep changing managers
agree.
every season or so.
It's sort of been your policy though, right? And it's sort of worked. Like you've had 14
it's also worked, and
14 managers in the past 14 years or something, or 13 managers.
If you exclude the interim managers, yeah.
So let's select 10 managers in the last 10, something like that.
Lampard was the 13th.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's worked, right? You've won like silverware.
Yeah,
It's
but
just that
it's
you thought that Lampard was sort of like the reset on that, and like you were building from youth, and
but it's weird because like with every manager, like even Mourinho's third season, the second time he came, the second season we were great.
yeah,
Third season we were absolute shit. And it's almost like there's a button that just goes off with Chelsea
yeah,
and they want a new manager. So it's so like I don't want to judge Tuchel after just one game,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I don't know how long the Chelsea team will last with Tuchel.
Mm.
When do
Um,
they want something new?
yeah, I definitely think he's a good coach, and he's probably one of the best attacking coaches out there. So
Thus
in
he's
a
worked
way,
with Silva, he's worked with
he's worked
Pulisic
with Pulisic. He was like one of the main factors that integrated Pulisic into that
into the
Dortmund team,
team.
right? So hopefully they can get it. But for some reason, Pulisic didn't start under him. Do you think that was fishy, or do you think he was just like,
Uh,
I'm not gonna play all my cards here or something?
Hudson Odoi has
Yeah.
been performing,
Oh, like that's
so I
probably
guess
it. I think Pulisic was
probably because
been
of
a
that.
bit out of form. It kind of fucked over my FPL. I brought Pulisic in, hoping he
I'm 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 19th out of 28 people. I was fifth. That one double
It's
game
okay.
week ruined me.
It's only halfway through the season. Yeah,
True, true.
United was supposed to win the league like a week ago.
Yeah.
City haven't.
and and then I saw that De Gea clearance.
Okay.
It happens. It happens to the best of
Yeah.
us.
I mean, happens to Kepa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think like while we're on that topic, do you see a lineup coming up in your head in terms of who's performing? Who do you think Tuchel will go for in terms of form? And honestly, like, what's your opinion on like who should start?
I I have a slight picture. I've
Uh-huh.
always been a hardcore 4-2-3-1 fan, and I was very happy that Tuchel went along with the 4-2-3-1 as well.
Okay, yeah. We're getting Mendy on
Yeah.
goal, right? Yeah.
So even with definitely Mendy, I'd say Mendy and Silva.
Okay. Before
Um,
his legs run out, I think
Kurt Zuma.
Silva can get a good season out of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Kurt
think
Zuma.
Zuma in.
Yeah.
Chilwell, I'm still not completely convinced.
I think he'll be good.
We
It's
paid
just
a
that
lot of money for
I don't
Chilwell.
think he should be playing all the games because of the lack of fitness, and
Mm,
he's been known for injuries, right? So hopefully he doesn't
yeah, and he's
get
had a
hurt.
few ankle problems.
Exactly. He's an old man now. Yeah, so Silva and Zuma, I'd agree, good partnership. And I'm guessing Chilwell and Reece James, um, who have
I
been
guess,
great.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm kind of a fan of Asby.
yeah,
I'm
definitely.
I'm a low key because
I think
certain games, all I feel like Reece James offers is he runs to the corner and then just crosses it in.
yeah, he's got that weird
So
cross from like right outside the box. It's
mm,
yeah, it's a bit different from like the cross you'd see from someone like Trent Alexander or something. It's got more
yeah,
hip
it's
to it,
it's
I
more
guess.
low
Yeah,
pace.
yeah, exactly. Um, it's like a hooker, some weird thing. It's a great
Yeah,
technique though, and it catches like if you have like someone like Giroud up front, I think um, that is a very good attacking threat. I mean, wouldn't Asby come up as a center back instead of Silva sometimes? Wouldn't that help? Do you think, or do you think he's better as a right back?
I feel like he's better as a right back
Yeah,
going front. I feel like
yeah,
he's more composed certain games because still James makes some very rash challenges
yeah.
that
Okay,
have been problematic sometimes.
yeah,
So more than James, I'd go for Asby.
okay, yeah. Who
I
do you
want to
think
stick by Asby.
your two up front in your defense should be?
Kovacic for sure,
Okay.
and Kante, man, for the last 2 seasons or so, I haven't been a major fan. I know he's made the most tackles, but if you watch the Wolves game, the second goal, the one Neto scored, was because
Oh
of
yeah.
what Kante did wrong. Yeah, he just shot it in front, and there was no reason to do that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's I'd play. I don't know if I'd want to play Jorginho or Mount there.
I think Mount would be a good idea.
Yeah,
It's just that I don't know how. Yeah, I guess Kovacic is like good defensively. I'm scared that you might lose that, block that runner in front of your defense, where like Kante is known for
yeah,
like, well, you kind of had that small struggle, I think, during the start of the season where
yeah.
without Kante you were conceding so many chances. But that was
But
also like because the defense wasn't fixed up.
like
But I guess
even
yeah,
with when we were playing with Sarri used to play 4-3-3 as well, and
yeah,
Kante would be the right centre mid while
yeah, yeah,
Jorginho
yeah,
was.
yeah.
So
I
I
didn't
feel
like
like
that
Mount
formation.
could. Yeah,
I
same, but
hated that formation. I mean, I love Sari and like the formation he plays with. It's just that I hated that you were playing Jorginho as your center
then
and
Kante.
then
Yeah,
putting Kante on the right, which was it just
I
looked
feel
wrong.
like I feel like with the right manager, Mount could be what Lamps was.
Okay. I mean, should have been Lamps as the manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
a bit sad.
Lamps was very adamant on the 4-3-3 when Lamps himself used
Mm,
to play a lot with the 4-2-3-1.
yeah. Okay. I mean, we
Yeah,
could put Mount there, and then
yeah. That,
down the
Havertz for
middle.
cent
Yeah.
Havertz.
Okay. Havertz in front of that too.
Yeah,
Uh,
and with current form with the wingers, I'd currently choose Hudson
yeah,
Odoi over Pulisic.
yeah, I'd agree. I think CHO is looking
Yeah,
more
and
promising. Although I think Pulisic, a Pulisic in form is like very good. If you remember from that
last
Liverpool
season,
game,
last season
season,
Pulisic was a clutch player.
yeah. He almost went into like not to be like controversial here, but like he almost went into that Hazard role where like you
Mm,
just dribble past the defense and is sorting in the back. Um, which is like what you've been missing, honestly, in your
pretty
attack.
much.
Yeah. And on the right, I think,
I put Ziyech.
yeah, I'd agree. And then Werner
Uh,
up top.
if if I wasn't considering current form, Werner up top,
Yeah,
but I'd really put Tammy Abraham if not. But
you
I'm a
take
huge fan of
Tammy.
Werner.
Okay.
But right now, I have a bit of hope with Werner because he offers
Hmm.
that pace that Tammy doesn't.
I think so. Yeah. He's very good at getting into the box. I think it's just that he's
So
been very unlucky.
pretty
And
much,
he's also had very little. Well, the style of play he is playing, he doesn't get that much. He's not the sort of player to like do link up play. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? He's not like
mm,
a Firmino or a Lacazette or something. He's not very good at that. I think he's more of like take your chances guy.
yeah,
Pops up in the box, dribbles through sometimes, and then just shoots. He's that sort of player, I think. And then I think because he's missed that player behind him feeding him that pass through,
yeah,
he's kind of lost it a bit. And because he's been played with Tammy sometimes when he's not been playing up top as a lone striker, as I
yeah.
said, that link up play hasn't been his best offer to the team. Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with that. Let's hope. Who are you playing this week? Are you playing anyone interesting? No, I'm kidding. um,
Uh,
you
but
are
yeah,
playing, you're playing Burnley this week. Tough fixture, but you're at home. So
but yeah.
yeah,
Last time Pulisic scored a hat trick with Burnley,
I
and we
know,
played.
I remember. um, yeah, but that was like at Turf Moor or something, right?
Mm,
Um, yeah, it's gonna be a tough game, I guess. Burnley have been on form.
Yeah, they've
Exciting
been
to see though.
surprisingly.
I've always been a fan of Tuchel and been waiting for him to come to the Premier League for a while.
I've also been a huge fan of Sean Dyche, to be honest.
Everyone's a fan of Sean Dyche. The Queen is a fan of Sean Dyche.
It's boring football, but he's lasted in the Premier League for a long time.
Yeah,
And with the budget that he has,
yeah, I think
he's made some good signings.
People sort of undervalue those kind of managers. I guess Sean Dyche, even Big Sam, Roy Hodgson, I'd say those sort of managers that build up that middle to lower part of the Premier League. I think.
Yeah.
They handle their club very well. I think. At times when they do mess up, it's because they lack the personnel, or it's not because they're bad managers. I think it's just because they're either the other teams that have better pedigree than them or something. But I think they've been great.
But at the same time, I feel like no big team will give.
Oh, exactly.
Like Dyche or like Big Sam the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. I think Big Sam went to Everton. Last time, right?
He did decent.
He did okay, I think.
He did
but,
okay.
I mean, that's never that sort of. I mean, obviously, Everton deserves someone like Ancelotti in that team with the with the type of players they have. So it's interesting, like that sort of argument where you don't really want to see the old breed or the old guard die. But you see like young managers like Graham Potter coming up.
Oh yes.
Which is like they're also very good.
But at the same time, English managers aren't really given an opportunity as much as
not really. I think
foreign managers.
At least young English managers, except for like that's why I said like the established guy. But I do think it's kind of like phasing out of the game. At some point in like the next few years, we'll see a whole bunch of new managers take charge. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that was good. I think that's all we
covered all the points.
Yeah. So if you have anything else that you want us to talk about Chelsea, comment below, and or I don't know, send us a message through DM on Instagram. You can follow us at Ceylon Pass. Please listen to Spotify. We're on Spotify and most of the other places where you can listen to podcasts and where you probably listen to your music, or just listen to us on YouTube. I think that's all. Thanks for joining, Adil. It's getting a bit late today.
Pleasure. Yeah, pleasure to have you too, Durana.
Yeah, man. All good. All right. All the best to Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel. All right. I'll see you later.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Sell on Pass. Total football.